How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Raillet, and welcome back to a brand new video, guys. So today, I want to do a little bit of a breakdown here, or just a little bit of take a look here at something that Eduardo, also known as Nintendo Kosuo, on Twitter actually posted a while back, and something that he gave an update to recently, which is the potential of maybe Gen 8 being based on Southeast Asia due to connections between, specifically, Generation 7 and the places that could be based on, the part of the world that's, Southeast Asia. So, I thought it would be interesting to take a look at more as a theory for Gen 8 rather than anything else, and see what it kind of says and what it could potentially mean, and I thought it would be something fun to have a look at here. This was posted on the 15th of September, which was literally 2-3 days ago, something like that, give or take. And yeah, let's take a look at it. And also, before we get started, guys, as you may notice, my face cam is off due to for some reason, it's not working, which I don't know what's wrong, but, it is what it is. Just, my shit's not working always. It's just weird. And I also want to give an update, guys. I'm actually going to be able to move soon. My whole family, we were able to find a bigger place to live in, which is great, which means my videos will be able to actually go up in quality somewhat, because I'll be able to have my own room and a proper setup where I can do things way better with my proper DSLR camera and stuff. Either way, let's get started with this. So, Eduardo said here, let me reshare an outdated material, HQ, and then he goes here and links a drive link here, which I think we can see. And we can zoom in here, and it has a lot of information. There's a lot of info here that he goes through, which we can actually take a look at and see what it actually has to say. But let's start with what he actually says here. It's from around the time I first mentioned the possibility of a region based on South or Southeast Asia for Gen 8, I think. Southeast Asia is making more sense at the moment. Read below for why. And then I guess he's talking about the actual thing. Indonesia shares all the factors I presented then, but is also in the Ring of Fire, supporting the Blush Mountain GP documentary. And then he just links a bunch of stuff. So let's just take a look at what he's saying here. So let's start with this, yeah, alright? So he is basically saying, Pokemon Sun and Moon suggests Generation 8 will be set in India. Maybe let's see, maybe let's wait for Ultra Sun and Moon for now. Young Goose Pokédex entry from Bulbapedia Bulbagarden here, which says, Sun in Pokemon Sun. With its sharp fangs, it will bite anything. It did not originally live in Alola, but was imported from another region. Now, people used to think that this was Kanto. There's been theories about it being Kanto. But if this actually ends up being like a place such as, I guess, Asia and such, it'll be pretty cool. So let's see what he actually has to say down here. The small Asian mongoose is a species of mongoose found in, and this is literally the same, like, young goose, mongoose, come on, man. Found in the wild in South and Southeast Asia. It has been introduced to Hawaii, the Bahamas, Cuba, Croatia, Jamaica, Hispaniola, never heard of that before, actually, Puerto Rico, the Lesser Antilles, Belize, Honduras, Panama, Trinidad and Tobago, Colombia, Suriname, Venezuela, Guyana, and Mafia Island. Really? Mafia Island? Is that a thing? Then no. The western subspecies group is something treated as a separate species. The Indian mongoose, or small Indian mongoose. Okay, so yeah, basically there is a connection here between the fact that young goose is based on a mongoose. Literally the name tells you instantly the connection right there. And if this is, a good, this is a good connection to begin with, right? But then again, you don't really know when it comes to these sort of things and, how they really work. But then continues on down here. Introduction to Hawaii. The 1800s was a huge century for sugarcane, and plantations shot up in many tropical islands, including Hawaii, Fiji, and Jamaica. With sugarcane came rats, attracted the sweet plant, which ended up causing crop destruction and loss. Attempts were made to introduce the species in Trinidad in 1870, but this failed. A subsequent trial with 4 males and 5 females from Calcutta, however, established in Jamaica in 1872. A paper published by W.B. Espuet that praised the results intrigued Hawaiian plantation owners who, in 1883, brought 72 mongooses from Jamaica to Hamakua coast on the Big Island. These were raised, and their offspring were shipped to plantations on other islands. Populations have been introduced to these islands. Islands show larger range sizes. Now, this is actually really interesting because what this means is, as you guys know, in like the kind of like breakdown of Young Goose, it's being essentially said that it was brought in you know, as it was brought in as kind of like a pest control, so to say. I guess it was the one that kind of put down the population of rattatas, I guess is what would make sense here. Like, you know, rattatas were destroying crops, and then Yungoos came around and, you know, obliterated them, which is kind of disturbing when you think about it. So that makes sense, you know, with this connection right here, and this being a small Asian mongoose, you know, or like just a mongoose, so to say, from Asia, specifically from, you know, India, which is really interesting. So let's continue on here. So, only islands of Lanai and Kauai are thought to be free of mongooses. There are two conflicting stories of why Kauai was spared. The first is that the residents of Kauai, did I say Kauai? Were opposed to having the animals on the island. When the ship carrying the offspring reached the animals were thrown overboard and drowned. A secondary story tells that on arriving on Kauai, one of the mongooses bit a dock worker who, in a fit of anger, threw the caged animals into the harbor to drown. Yikes. So, let's continue here. From another British India here. So British India was the area of India in Southeast Asia which for hundreds of years was under the influence of the English, later the British, from 1600s until 1858. These areas were run by the English East Indian Company. After 1858 until 1947, they became the British Raj. British India ruled from the east included British India ruled from the east included the regions of the present day of the People's Republic of Bangladesh, Republic of India, Burma, and Pakistan. And then note Burma equals Myanmar. Now, I don't know if they would do something on Burma, considering Burma is a very hectic place at the moment. There's a lot of things happening there, a lot of like really bad shit going on, so I don't think they would want to base a Pokemon region on that place, unless, you know, this is a very recent development, the things that are happening there, and maybe they started development of these games and they wanted to include that a long time ago. So, the Indian subcontinent on the subcontinent, also called the Indian continent, is a southern region of Asia, mostly situated on the Indian plate, and projecting southwards into the Indian Ocean, okay, from the Himalayas. Geologically. Let's see. Politically, the Indian subcontinent usually includes Bangladesh, Bhutan, India, Maldives, Nepal, Pakistan, and Sri Lanka. Sometimes the term Southeast Asia is used interchangeably with Indian subcontinents. Or Indian subcontinent. There is no consensus about which countries should be included in each. So it's a little bit of a flip-flop there, I guess. Etymology, the term subcontinent, and he just goes through like what it even is, which I guess is something we don't really need to go too far into. But this is, I guess, the Southeast Asian part of the world, which includes Sri Lanka, which was suggested to be the next region by a certain individual, as you guys may remember, which I don't want to bring up again because we've already had enough of that. But in conclusion, real mongooses were probably introduced to Hawaii by the British during the 1800s while they ruled over the Indian subcontinent area to solve the problem of rats eating the sugarcane plantations their companies commercialized. Yungoos and Rattata parallel this part of the history in the Pokemon world, which potentially suggests that Yungoos were brought to Alola from a Pokemon region comparable to India or the Indian subcontinent in general through the influence of another region, which would be the equivalent of Britain or the United Kingdom in general. Ryuki's name is related to the Black Nightshade, his personality to rock, and his design to both aspects. However, the fact red is emphasized in Ryuki's design seems to suggest he's connected to the Indian varieties of the Black Nightshade, therefore connecting him to that country. Or, in this case, the Pokemon equivalent of it, which would be across the sea from Alola. As he states in the game, moreover, the fact that said plant is heavily used in India and other parts of the Indian subcontinent like Bangladesh for various reasons, from food to medicine, especially around areas where rock music seems to be somewhat prevalent, like near Bangalore and Shillong. Not only reaffirms this connection to the country, but also narrows down the potential areas where he might be from, which in this case is most likely from the Pokemon world's equivalent of Bangalore, which the equivalent to Shillong as the most likely next possibility. So, let's continue on. There's a lot of interesting information, I've got to be frankly honest. This is actually really cool info. And there is way more up here, by the way. Holy crap. We have a lot of stuff about Ryuki. Actually, you should probably cover the Ryuki stuff before we read the full, like, breakdown of it right up here. So let's read the Ryuki info, because I guess he meant for it to be, like, actually brought up first. So let's actually read what he has to say about Ryuki here. Let's start with this. Ryuki information from Bulbapedia. So, first things first. First challenge before battle. The name is Ryuki. I'm what you might call a star. I mean, with partners like my Pokemon, how could I not be a star? I came all the way across the sea here to Alola to spread my fame out here. 2. The whole world will be mine soon. And then he goes on and says here, the critics loved my songs, but nobody was buying my music for a while, man. But I'm just a rocker down to my bones. Nothing else to do but to keep on rocking. And then he goes on here, my babies here are dying to play a set. Stage, allow me to introduce my bandmates. Okay. Keep rocking is what he mentions here, blah, blah, blah. I'm always looking for a good gig. So, fair enough. And then they mention here, Ryuki, which is Black Shade. That's the thing he was mentioning a second ago. Now, European Black Shade, or locally just Black Nightshade, Duskull Garden Nightshade, Garden Huckleberry, Houndberry, Petty Morel, Wonderberry, Small-Fruited Black Nightshade, or Popolo is a species in the Solanum genus, native to Eurasia, and introduced in the Americas, Australasia, and South Africa. Parts of this plant can be toxic and to livestock and humans. Yada yada. Solanum, wow, that's a weird name, has been recorded from deposits of the Paleolithic, and Mesolithic era of ancient Britain, and it's suggested by the botanist and ecologist Edward Salisbury. Native flora that would be okay. Emerged description with wavy and large toothed edges. Yeah, you got the two toothed edges right here on it, which is in his design. Man, Game Freak really takes a long time when it comes to like base design here. The flowers have petals greenish to whitish, recurved when aged, and surrounded prominent bright yellow antlers. Yep, you can see right there. You just got that whole design on him here. And then he goes on, in India, another strain is found with berries that turn red when ripe. Okay, and yeah, this guy's red. Yeah, literally, all of it's there. You even got the image up here. Wow, everything is really on point, if we're going to be honest here. So let's continue on. So, description, we already went through. Culinary usage. In India, the berries are casually grown and eaten, but not cultivated for commercial use. In South India, the leaves and berries are routinely consumed as food after cooking with tamarind, onion, and cumin seeds. The berries are referred to as fragrant tomato, although not very popular across much of its growing region. The fruit and dish are common in Tamil Nadu, Kerala, southern Andhra Pradesh, and southern Karnataka. And during the ancient times in Hawaii, young shots, leaves, and small white flowers and small blackberries were eaten. Wow, okay. So there's a connection here. There's a connection to India and how it's used in culinary there, and also it's used, in ancient times in Hawaii as well. That's interesting. Medical usage. So, is an important ingredient in traditional Indian medicine. So again, Indian medicine mentioned, or Indian connection there. It is known as Pedakasha Pandla Kora in the Telangana region. This plant's leaves are used to treat mouth ulcers that happen during winter periods in Tamil Nadu, India. It is known as in Tamil Nadu and oh boy, these are some hard names. I'm sorry, just got to skip through them. It's a widely used plant in Oriental medicines. Fair enough. So again, another connection there. Let's continue down here. In Bangladesh and Indian subcontinents, another variety is varieties found with berries that turn yellowish and yellowish red when ripe. Now, Indian rock is a music genre in India that incorporates elements of Indian music with mainstream rock music, and it's often topically Indian-centric, while India is more often known for its northern and southern classical music and Bollywood film music. The Indian rock scene has also produced numerous bands and artists. The current Indian rock scene has a larger following than ever, and may soon be recognized in the international arena. Recent entries into the rock music scene are increasingly becoming comparable in their production quality to Western bands, and have been compared favorably to other internationally recognized acts. Progress is certain for the Indian rock scene with the advent of entities that support this genre. Regional music scene. Many cities and regions have produced collections of bands large enough to be classified as a scene within Indian rock. Shillong, Mumbai, and Bangalore have long been one of the principal founts of Indian rock and continues to produce bands regularly. Bangalore scene. The dominant music genres in urban Bangalore is rock and metal music. All subgenres of rock, varying from classic rock, rock and roll, to extreme metal, can be heard in Bangalore. The underground scenario in Bangalore is highly acclaimed, and although Shillong is called the rock/metal capital of India, but that day is not far when Bangalore can take the fame away from Shillong. Bangalore was also the first city in India where the international popular rock groups, Opeth, Iron Maiden, etc., I guess among various other heavy metal groups, performed live for the first time in India. So there is a scene there for people who do like rock and roll and metal and that sort of stuff, which does connect back to Ryuki here, who does have that whole thing going for him. And then we go here, independent record labels. Mainstream record labels in India often ignore rock with a few exceptions. Album sales range between a few hundred copies to a few thousand. They are rarely, if at all, affiliated to Indian music industry, and sales are not usually monitored. Songs of Bollywood usually gain more popularity as compared to the songs of bands. This is a huge setback. Band also failed to sell their music. Oh my god, it's a perfect connection. It's a perfect connection. Look at what he says right here. The critics love my songs, but nobody was buying my music for a while, man. But I'm just a rocker down to my bones. Nothing else to do but to keep on rocking. Holy shit, are we getting an Indian region for Gen 8? That would be amazing. I've always wanted an Indian region. I actually had a video planned. And if you guys still want to see this, okay, if you're watching this video right now, in the comment section, do hashtag Gen 8 India, or just hashtag Gen 8 in the comment section if you want to see my video about what would be really cool, in my video like breaking down how an Indian Pokemon region would be really nice to have. I was going to plan to do a video on that, and then this popped up. Man, this is some good research, Eduardo. This is some amazing research, man. Holy crap. Okay, let's continue here. Sales are not usually monitored. Songs don't gain popularity compared to other songs in the band. It's a huge setback. Bands also fail to sell their songs throughout the country, even after making it available to major music stores. This is only due to the lack of interest of people in rock bands. There are only a few bands that have become successful in selling their songs throughout the country. People who enjoy the rock get the songs of their favorite bands just by clicking from any music website. Sometimes their songs are uploaded by website administrators just after the day of release. This is illegal as per copyright law, but even then, no action is taken. Hence, overall sales becoming less than expected. Bands in India mostly perform live shows with low-priced tickets, as low as, I guess, rupees, 100 rupees, or even less. The future looks encouraging thanks to entities such as Green Ozone, Dogma Tone Records, and a bunch of other ones. Shillong is around the dotted area right there, which, damn, man, this is interesting. This is interesting. There's still, still in the part of the world that is the southern part. So let's see. Both of these facts are high likelihood of Ryuki having a more prominent role in Pokemon Ultra Sun and Moon, which he did have, sort of. Not a super crazy, one, but he did have a prominent role. Could hint that the next generation of Pokemon, Generation 8, will be set in the Pokemon region, region that's the equivalent of India, or perhaps something comparable to the Indian subcontinent of British Raj, which also included Burma, now aka Myanmar. From a thematic standpoint, it would also make a lot of sense since they could continue to explore ideas connected to their current ones, such as making legendaries based on the chakras and adding more interesting lore-based and various concepts from the Vedas and the spiritual and occult beliefs of the Indian subcontinent area. Furthermore, it creates the intriguing possibility of there being a Pokemon singular or duo that is more powerful than Arceus because it is an equivalent of the Brahma, which could be said to represent the universe, and is born from Vishnu, or sometimes Shiva, which can be interpreted as the multiverse. Brahma, which could be said to represent the universe, and is born from... Okay, so I just read that twice. A concept the Pokemon franchise has been pushing forward more and more as of late. Brahma also dies after a certain time, and another one is born, implying that each universe has a limited life cycle too, which could be another interesting concept to tackle in the Pokemon world. Material is put together by Nintendo Kosuo, and you can go to his website right there. Pictures and information belong to respective owners, etc. You got the copyright stuff. So yeah, guys, do check him out, man. Give this man a follow. Straight up, I don't know why I wasn't following. I think I was following him for a while, but I guess I must have unfollowed at some given time, which I do apologize, man. But Eduardo, man, This is some great work, dude. You really put this well together back in the day, man. Because this looks legitimately good. I would love a region based on India. I don't know about you guys, but I would love it. I would so love it, guys. So like I said earlier, if you want to see me do a video about this whole thing, then just do hashtag Gen 8 or hashtag Gen 8 India in the comment section down below. And I'll definitely do a video, my planned video that I was going to do about how a region based on India would be fantastic. So yeah, guys, that's going to be just about it for this video. I hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, then drop a like down below. Subscribe for future videos. And as usual, my name is Have a great day, and bye-bye, ladies and gentlemen.